Hazrat Masih Maud ﷺ, there was a reference to Imam Mahdi. I'm a bit confused as to the two entities and if they're interrelated, if they are, and what is the significance of one over the other, if there is one.
Well, this is an often asked question, and a perfectly valid question. We find in hadith there's two different references. There's a reference to the Imam Mahdi and there's a reference to the Masih as well. So obviously the question that naturally arises in our minds is this two different people, or is it the same person within two different aspects of his life or his purpose? So the panel, yes, Yasser, please.
This is a very important question, and basically, if we look, we can find an answer from the ahadith. And Ibn Majah, which is a very authentic book of hadith, the Holy Prophet ﷺ is reported to have said that Lal Mahdiyu illa Isa, that there is no Mahdi other than the Isa alayhi salam, other than Jesus alayhi salam. So from this authentic hadith, we have a foundation with which we can work around and interpret everything else and put the pieces of the puzzle together. Because the Holy Prophet ﷺ has clearly mentioned that these are as if two different attributes of that divine reformer which is to come in the latter days. He would be the Mahdi, and Mahdi, speaking from a linguistic perspective, means somebody who is guided. And in this case, somebody who is guided by Allah the Almighty through divine appointment and then to guide other people. And Messiah, which is from Masaha, means to touch somebody with a spiritual feel. And we see, or to breathe life into somebody. And we see that the promised Messiah ﷺ fulfilled both of these roles. The confusion is there, you're absolutely right. And part of the confusion is because some people still believe, our non-Ahmadi brothers and sisters believe that Jesus ﷺ is physically alive in the heavens. But when we look at the Holy Quran, which is the fundamental source, we see that the Quran has clearly mentioned that he passed away like all of the other prophets of God. And there's a very conclusive verse in the Holy Quran where Allah the Almighty states that Ma Muhammadun illa Rasul, that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is nothing but a messenger. Qad khalat min qablihi rusul. All of the messengers before him have passed away, and that also includes Jesus alayhi salam as well. And another thing which we really must understand is that the second coming of the Messiah would be a different person, and not Jesus alayhi salam himself from 2,000 years ago, because the Holy Quran states that Rasulun ila Bani Israel, his jurisdiction is confined to the people of the Bani Israel. He does not have the jurisdiction to come and guide the Muslim Ummah. And that's why the Holy Prophet ﷺ mentioned that كَيْفَ أَنْتُمْ إِذَا نَذَلَ ابْنُ مَرْيَمَ فِيكُمْ, that what would be your state when Ibn Maryam would descend amongst you. وَإِمَامُكُمْ مِنْكُمْ, that he would be from among you, minkum, that is the Muslim Ummah, which clearly shows that a person would be born from the Muslim Ummah and take on these two separate roles and fulfill the purpose of spiritually breathing life into people, that is the Messiah, and then to guide people because he was the Mahdi.
Exactly. So I think it's also important to notice that in a day and age nowadays where we live in such a poetic society, or even the Muslims of the age who struggle to understand the concept of Masih and Mahdi being two different names yet being the same person, it seems also confusing. But when we look into, say, the Quran itself, we see that how many names are there of Allah the Almighty, or how many names are given to the Holy Prophet ﷺ. Even when we're talking to people, we give people different names according to the different tasks they have. So I guess exactly how Yasab eloquently said, that these are merely two attributes or two different tasks assigned to one person, i.e. the Masih and the Mahdi being one person. So